Hello, my name is William Hughitt, and I am your instructor for BA 188 Customer Service. My email address is right up here, and that is always going to be the best way to contact me. It comes to my phone as well as my computer, and I'm able to get back to you very quickly. By school policy or college policy, we have up to 48 hours, but generally I can get back to you within just a few hours and make sure that I can get any questions you might have answered promptly. Our textbook is called Customer Service, 6th edition by Robert W. Lucas. It's a McGraw-Hill publication from 2015. Please make sure when you're getting your textbooks that you are getting the 6th edition. That way our assignments are going to match up well for you. As we kind of go through the intro here on the Getting Started video, and obviously you are watching that, it's right here, is that we have some things here that you are probably going to want to make sure that you're taken care of here. First one is going to be the Welcome to BA 188. In this here, it's going to kind of go over how the course is set up, that it is a 2-credit class. It is a hybrid. That means that we also have a face-to-face class. It is going to be at the end of the class, and look forward to meeting all of you, and that information will be in the syllabus for the date of this face-to-face class. It's all also was in the college schedule, so make sure that you have that marked off on your calendar so you're able to attend, as it is a graded class. Okay, so everything in here, all this good information here. One of the things I always like to point out is that this is not a self-paced class. You will find that the activities in Moodle do not open until the beginning of the unit, and then all unit assignments are due on the following Saturday by midnight, unless otherwise noted. Okay, I do accept late assignments up to 1 week if you let me know. I understand that life happens, and sometimes our schedules get full or something unavoidable comes up. If you just let me know, I'll be more than happy to work together with you in order to make sure we get all of our assignments in. So I'm going to back out of this here. The next thing on our item here is going to be a short introduction about myself, and then probably the most critical piece to you folks is the course syllabus. In that, it's going to list everything you need. Again, the textbook, the prerequisites, course description, assessment strategies, our goals and objectives for the course. All sorts of other good information is here as I'm just kind of scrolling through it. This is a weighted percentage grading class. So that means that it's by percents, it's not just a total points. So you'll notice that our form postings are 10%, our chapter tests and quizzes. We also have projects, and then the face-to-face proportion of our class is worth 15%. And so again, make sure that you're getting that marked on your calendar. Okay, as we scroll down here, there is a scoring rubric for you to view and check out. That is how your written assignments for the various sections will be assessed. Minimum technical requirements. There is a calendar of due dates that will be updated each term. Also going to have a couple of netiquette refreshers on how we would correspond with each other in the class and also with the professor here. We also have some privacy statements of the web sources that we use during the class, and then a whole section on college resources. If you need tech support help, there's a link there to contact the college. Some college has some wonderful online learning information there for you. One of the items that are used in the class is a PowerPoint. And so if you do not have PowerPoint on your computer, there's a couple of links here to where you can go and download them for no cost. You're able to view the PowerPoints that are part of the class. The version is limited, so it doesn't allow you to create them, but it does allow you to view them. If you're new to Moodle, there's a couple of sections here to help you do that. Some online learning resources, because taking an online class is quite a bit different than a face-to-face class. And so helping you with that information is here. ADA Student Services, again, these are college links, and it'll help you with any questions you might have in those areas. Then the next two are forms. Now this first one here, it says required to check a couple of times weekly. This is where I am going to put information to the general class. So if things are information that you need, they will be here. So if you have questions, always check here about maybe due dates, things that are going on in the class, because this is where I'm going to put that type of information. If everything's going well in the class and I don't see any trends that I need to address or any particular issues, I may not post as often. But again, I'd like you to check that at least once or twice a week just to see if there's new information for you. Underneath that is a coffee shop form, and that's for you folks. And so it's not a form that I necessarily monitor. I do check it from time to time, but this is where you can communicate with your fellow classmates. So if you need a ride to, say, the Hood River campus from the Dalles, this is where you could post that, see if anybody's going, and could maybe hop a ride. And so that's how the coffee shop form is. It's just kind of for you to post to your other classmates. Underneath that, there is a lot of terms in this class, and some you may not be familiar with. And so I have included a glossary of terms in both English and Spanish for your benefit. This is something you could go ahead and print out. It is a Word document. You could print that out, put it in kind of your notebook for the class as a resource for when you're doing activities, then you'll be able to use that. So as we scroll down here, the next video that I would like you to view is this Introduction to Week 1 or Unit 1. And so this section right here will outline how the units are set up, how testing works, all of those types of things. So I would like you to watch that after you've looked at all of the items up here, and then so when you're ready to start the assignments, please watch this video right here. Again, if you have any questions in the course, my email again is right up here at the top. I will be communicating to you through your student account that the college has set up for you. And so those are the email addresses I have and will use. So please check those accounts often during the week, because if I have questions or concerns, that's where I'm going to send that information. Good luck with the class. I look forward again to seeing you and meeting you at our face-to-face course. And this is a fun class. I'm looking forward to it. Hello, my name is William Hughitt, and I am your instructor for Math 20. My email address is right here on the top of the page, and that is always going to be the best way to contact me. My email comes right to my phone. I monitor that often during the day, and so I can usually get back to you fairly quickly. By college policy, we have up to 48 hours, but I rarely need that. Usually it's within just a few hours or 24 at the most. If for some reason I don't get back to you within those 48 hours, something happened to the email, and please send it again. Our textbook for the course is Fundamentals of Mathematics, 10th edition, by Van Dyke, Rogers, and Adams. Now you'll notice that this is an older edition. It's by design to help save you, the students, some money. The math problems work perfectly good for this class, and so a slightly older edition works very well. The bookstore has that. You can get them online. But again, when you're looking for that, make sure that you are getting the 10th edition, or else they won't line up when you look at the various assignments. So the first thing on our agenda here is the Getting Started video, and obviously you're watching that because here we are. Underneath that, it has these Read First sections. Well, underneath that, we have our Welcome to Math 20. So we're going to click on that. Okay, this is going to give you all the information that you need for the course. So it's going to give you the title, information about how the class works. And this is an online class. Okay, you will do all your work on the computer, either at home or in the college lab, and submit it to me through Moodle. Okay, all coursework for each week is due by Saturday night, 11:55. Now, I'm probably not going to grade it at 11:55, but that's when it's due. It's time-stamped. I'm probably going to look at it Sunday morning, but that's when everything is due. So you have a whole week. So plan your time accordingly. Again, there's no office hours in an online class, and so again, email. Again, my email is here. And also that this is not a self-paced class. You will find all the activities in Moodle will not open until the beginning of the week, and assignments are due again by Saturday. So I will accept some late work, and because I understand that life happens. And if you have a situation where things are going to be late, please let me know. I'm more than happy to work with students on that. But again, notice that I will only accept them for 1 week after they're due. After that, they go to 0 and they cannot be made up. But again, I need to know that. It's not that, you just didn't do it. I need that communication. So please make sure you're dropping me an email. Again, all of this good information is in here, so please read that. So I'm going to back out of there. You'll have a short introduction about myself, and then probably the most critical information for most students is the syllabus. So again, they're going to have the information, course number, that type of thing up here, prerequisites, course description, flexibility, ADA, how the grading is working here. Okay, now notice that this is a percentage-based course. It's not total points. So the forms are 10%, the completing the self-checks are 15, computer tests or quizzes, I interchange those two words, and then the midterm and the final is worth a little bit more because they're a little longer. Okay, so again, please read through all that information because it's very valuable and you would like to know all of that. So I'm going to back out of here. Okay. Minimum technical requirements, you can take a look at that. These do use Microsoft-based products for the most part. Apple's will work, but it may take some adapting. File formats, when you send me things, make sure that you've either saved them in the appropriate file structure or a PDF. PDF usually works pretty good if you're sending me attachments or notices, those types of things. Calendar of due dates are going to be here, and then a couple of sections on netiquette. Now, with an online class, we're going to be doing all of our communication back and forth over the web, and there are certain ways that we communicate appropriately, not only with your professor here, but also your fellow students. And these will kind of go over some of those rules. They're the same ones that everybody else uses, just as a good refresher if you need that. The next section here is mostly for you. So if you need, technical support help or something's just not working, these are the links to the college to help you get that situation solved. If you're new to online learning, because taking an online class is a lot different than taking a face-to-face class. And so some information here. There are PowerPoints that are available to you here in the course shell. And so if you do not have PowerPoint on your computer, these are free links then to be able to upload those and be able to view the course content. If you're new to Moodle, there's some information here. Distance learning resources, AD information, student services. These are college links, and the college does a great job of providing some of this information to you. So again, I encourage you to check those things out. The last two sections here are form posts. The first one is mine. And so if I need to send information out to the entire class about how things are going or trends that I see, this is what I'm going to use. And so I ask you check that about 3 times weekly. Now, I may not post things often. It depends on how the class is going. If everything's going well and I don't need a lot of general information or course help, I may not post as often. But I would encourage you to please check on that because a lot of times your questions might be answered by the information that's posted in my form here. The one below is for you. This is a coffee shop form. So if you need it looking for a study buddy, maybe a ride to the Hood River campus or from the Hood River to the Dallas campus, you could post that in there and your fellow students then could respond to that. And so this is basically for you. I do monitor from time to time, but if you put questions in there for me or either one of the forms, that's not really how to do that. If you have questions for me, it's the email. That's how you're going to get in touch with me, and I'm more than happy to get back to you. Speaking of emails, your college email is how I'm going to communicate with you. Those are the ones the college gives me, and so that's where I'm going to provide feedback and information to you about possible missing assignments or whatever it might be. So you need to be monitoring your college email often because, again, that's the one that I'm going to use. Okay? So under week 1 and how all of the courses are set up here is that you're going to have a kind of a informational piece here. These are optional resources. So resources for Math 20, they're optional. These are YouTubes covering a different approach, maybe on the various sections. So again, these are YouTubes and these are optional. Okay, here, underneath here are going to be the Chapter 1 assignments and the Chapter 1 goals. So if we click on assignments, notice that this is required. You need to check on both of these here. Okay, so that's going to outline then the assignments for the various sections. Okay, because these are going to be monitored then in our self-checks. So you're going to be doing the homework first and then plugging it into the self-check. Okay, so again, you go through, you do the various homework sections. It says all 10 homework checks, and then you're going to do the chapter quiz or chapter test. Again, I'm going to interchange those two words quite a bit. So I'm going to back out of that. Underneath that will be the goals, so these are the objectives at the end of the unit, end of the chapter. Hopefully we'll have met all of those goals by you successfully completing the various sections. Now the next section here is going to be the class lectures, and these are also required. So if you were in a face-to-face class and I was doing the problems on the board for you, this is what you would see. So I'm going to go through each section and show you how to do the problems, how they're set up, how they work, that type of thing. And so again, some of them are a little longer or maybe broken up. Or an A here, these are going to mean that these are algebraic concepts. So in section 2, there's an algebraic concept, and so I've broken that out. So again, these are required because this is what you would see in the face-to-face section. So watch all of those. Remember before I mentioned PowerPoints. They are highly recommended. They're not required, but again, it's an additional way for you to learn the content. Again, we have those free PowerPoint viewers up top, and you could just simply watch those. I have added sound to many of them, again, talking you through the points on how to do the problems. Okay, then we have the self-checks. So this is how you're submitting the homework to me. So I have asked for, usually about 5 problems out of the homework. You'll put the answers into the Moodle shell, and then I will monitor those. Okay, you get graded for completing them. Not that necessarily that you got them right, you get graded for completing the work. So when I go in, Saturday night, Sunday morning to grade your work, I'm looking to make sure that you have done each one of these homework checks. Now, obviously, I would like you to get 5 out of 5 because it means you're doing real well, but again, that's not the point. The point is to learn the content. So even if you miss something, you can go back, take a look at it, and see where you went wrong, ask me questions, and we'll get those taken care of. And again, these are required and they are graded. Now, Moodle is a little tricky on these because these are auto graders. So they're looking at not only format, but also the correct answer. So if you have X space equals space 3, that might be the correct answer. If you put in X equals 3 with no spaces, even though you had it right, Moodle might mark it wrong. And so just send me an email and let me know that, and I'm happy to adjust the scores in the gradebook. Each week is going to have a form. Okay, this is a graded assignment. Okay, and so not only do you need to make an initial post, but you also need to respond to at least one of your classmates. You get points for doing both of those things. So again, you have an introduction form and then a response. And so in the week 1, it's introduction. Each week, as I'm just scrolling down here into the next week, here we have a disaster recovery form. So you're going to have a different topic each week. But again, the format is going to look very similar as we go through. So again, you're going to have some optional YouTube videos. Your assignments are going to be laid out. You're going to view the lectures. There are some additional resources available to get the material. You will do the homework. You will submit those into the self-checks. You will respond to a form post. And a lot of times students do that earlier in the week. And so they'll do the form post first because then your classmates can respond because there's something there to respond to. And then last but not least, each week there's going to be an online assessment. So I'm going to go back up here to week 1. I'm just going to simply click on that, show you how it'll look. And so again, these are going to be attempts. And so I'm going to do attempt quiz now. So again, they're going to pop up in here. Here's a question. You will simply check on the correct answer. You will have time to do the problem. These are not time tests. So if you need to go and take a few extra minutes, then in order to work out the problem, that's perfectly acceptable. That's what I want you to do. I want you to do well and take your time on these. Again, there are 15 or 20 questions. Again, you just simply go through, mark them here, and hit the next page after your page is full, and you'll get the entire quiz. So again, that's kind of how things are laid out in the course. Please, again, if it's required, please read it. It really is going to help. And so don't try to skip steps or not do parts of it thinking that it'll be okay, because you really want to be able to get this content as you are going to do additional math classes. Head into 60, 65, or 95, whichever one you might go into next. And so getting a good foundation of the skills here will really help you. Again, my email is here at the top. Our textbook is here. This is a fun class. I've taught it a number of years. I started teaching this class back in 2001. So I've been doing it a long time. I enjoy it. I think it's really a good class. And I look forward to meeting you in this process. Have fun.